Yes, Ms. Galloway.
Tricia Galloway from Trumbull, and my question is not going to be about Obamacare, but I would like to clarify a couple of things. The Unaffordable Care Act, which is turned into, formerly known as Obamacare, is an unmitigated disaster, which was founded on the foolish and specious notion that government bureaucrats know best what people should have, and that people are going to act in ways contrary to their own desires and best interests. In other words, that young single men are going to gladly pay for maternity benefits, and that they're going to be glad to subsidize older people, sicker people, which has proved not to be true. Only 25%, not the 40% needed to make the numbers work, have signed up, and a lot of them have not even paid for their premiums. So that's one fact. And Medicare is a big rationer of care. That's a fact. And of course, Obamacare also took money from Medicare, millions and millions there, hundreds of millions, in order to fund Obamacare. And if anybody that doesn't think that there's rationing by the IPAB, the Independent Payment Advisory Board, they need to go back and look up Donald Berwick, who was Obama's former advisor on this. He said, of course there will be rationing. It's only how we'll do it. And Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel, also a former advisor of President Obama, said this too. So anyway, I would like to know how you feel about the president's unconstitutional usurpation of the separation of powers, where he has unilaterally, Obama has revised Obamacare some 27 plus times now, most recently by saying there won't be a penalty for those who have had a hardship. He's unilaterally revised the law instead of Congress is supposed to advise. And also, I disagree with your statement that the long-term key to prosperity is education. The federal government should not be usurping the states' rights and the local school boards to manage our education, such as in Common Core. And the key to prosperity is lowering government regulations and taxes and letting people keep more of their own money and make their own decisions, whether it's health care, how to run their businesses, or whatever.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Galloway. Just a quick response. I never said, actually, that the federal government should take over education. I just said that the key to our long-term prosperity is education. I actually I don't believe that the federal government should take over education. I really don't. My kids are in public school, and I think the school boards do a pretty good job. So I never said that, and I don't believe that.
You said it was the key to prosperity.
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah.
Education.
And I said it was education. And by the way, I will happily disagree with you and politely disagree with you until the cows come home. Making sure every single American child has a good education, to me, is a much more obvious route to prosperity than eliminating regulations and taxation.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's not the federal government's role, such as with Common Core.
I completely agree. Completely agree. But look, I pay taxes too. We all pay taxes. None of us want taxes to be any higher than they can be. But if I can respectfully disagree with this idea that somehow if we slash our taxes, we're all of a sudden going to have a vibrant economy. Look, we do that, and a lot more Metro-North trains are going to derail, and our highways are going to become unusable. And let me just ask a question. If I ask this crowd, what is probably the most innovative, economically vibrant, value-producing place in America? I guess I'd offer up two thoughts. I would offer up Silicon Valley, where hundreds of billions of dollars a company, Google and Microsoft, all these companies, Silicon Valley, California, and maybe I'd offer up Boston, where biotech and pharmaceuticals are inventing stuff. What does Silicon Valley and Boston have in common? They're actually very high tax, very high regulation jurisdictions. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that high taxes and lots of regulation are a good thing. I'm just saying that if that's true, simply slashing taxes and regulations probably isn't necessarily the key to prosperity. We don't want to pay more taxes than we have to. We want to pay just enough taxes to have good roadways, have a strong defense, take care of our elderly, and that sort of thing, and not a penny more.